The death of BGT Berachain is killing its governance token today. The 1600 UTC hard fork on July 8 deletes the BGT emission model and its legacy boost mechanics from the protocol entirely. This is the POL Next upgrade, and it is a radical admission that the original Proof of Liquidity design was too friction-heavy for institutional capital. By deprecating BGT, the Foundation is attempting to solve the mercenary capital problem by forcing protocols to underwrite their own emissions. This structural pivot from decentralized voting to a revenue-backed model is a massive engineering bet on whether a chain can survive without speculative inflation. Consolidating the accumulation layer. The technical core of POL Next replaces the complex BGT delegation system with a streamlined SWBERA accumulation layer. Under the old model, validators and users had to navigate a multi-token labyrinth to capture value, often leading to temporary liquidity that vanished the moment a better yield appeared elsewhere. Now, all emissions are paid in WBERA and flow directly into SWBERA vaults, creating a single, predictable sink for value. This design treats the protocol less like a yield farm and more like a consolidated treasury, reducing the cognitive load for large-scale allocators. However, this centralization of value accrual into one token also means the system security is now more directly exposed to the market volatility of BERA itself. The ERA revenue model. The introduction of ERAs, or emissions return agreements, is the upgrade most experimental feature. Instead of protocols competing for community votes to earn emissions, they now enter into on-chain agreements where emissions are tied to verified protocol revenue and fee generation. Think of it like a growth equity round provided by the blockchain itself. A project must prove utility via transaction fees or user retention to maintain its emission stream, effectively turning off the tap for protocols that only exist to farm inflation. This changes the validator role from a simple consensus participant to a capital allocator who must judge the long-term viability of an application business model. This shifts the focus from how much capital a protocol can attract to how much value it can actually generate for the network. The signal under the noise. POL Next fundamentally redefines Berachain from a liquidity attraction layer into an on-chain holding company that prioritizes sustainable revenue over raw total value locked. By fusing governance and accumulation into SWBERA and enforcing the ERA revenue requirements, the protocol is attempting to bridge the gap between speculative crypto incentives and traditional financial discipline. The transition from BGT-based community signaling to revenue-verified emissions means projects can no longer rely on social engineering to capture the network inflation. For developers and analysts, the real test begins now as the legacy boost mechanics disappear and the first cohorts of ERA-backed protocols must start delivering actual fees to the treasury. The primary indicator of success over the next 90 days will be whether the network transaction fee volume can offset the removal of the BGT incentive floor without a massive exodus of liquidity. If this experiment succeeds, it provides a blueprint for how Layer 1s can move past the era of mercenary capital. Watch for the first revenue audits of the ERA cohort starting in late August to see if the engine can actually sustain itself. Subscribe for more